Welcome back to another episode of March Mania Best of Northern Kentucky. Thank you, David, Heather, and Karen for joining me once again. We are back into it. It has been controversial, I believe, right? I mean, there's been some give and take. There's been some. I can't believe you said that.
I think you can tell who's really getting emotionally involved in this, and I mean,
I've already said there's feelings behind it.
Feelings. I don't know. I've gotten worked up a couple times, and then Heather's more of like just looking at it from facts basis and logic.
Yeah, how dare you fact check us? I mean, if we want to use facts, sure. But no, overall, I think this has been really great. So for the audience, again, feel free to participate in the comments. What did we get right? What do you think we got wrong? Tell us about different restaurants that we think we might have missed or anything else. Again, we love to support the small business communities. Absolutely tell us of what's in those communities because we love learning more about Northern Kentucky. At the end of the day, this has been a lot of fun. We love the Northern Kentucky area. So feel free to comment below, get involved. Would love to see where you guys are with this. We are going to go ahead and do the round of 8, the round of 4, and the championship in this video. So we will be covering it all. We will be getting to the championship. So feel free to stick around, stay till the end of this video to see who we think best of Northern Kentucky is.
May happen here in the next couple rounds.
This is about to get brutal. So let's just go ahead and dive into it immediately. Covington, Park Hills. Where are we at? Heather, I with that face, let's just
stare it out. Get that ladle out and start stirring the pot.
All right, well, I am going to go with Covington, again, because of all the money that's getting poured into it to remodel the area. Main Strasse is a great area for a whole bunch of different restaurants, some really good food. And it's Covington.
I mean, they don't have the lizards that Park Hills does.
It's
however,
true.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mr. Park Hills himself. What did
you
have to say?
I mean,
I had to go with who I thought could make it to the end in this one. As much as I love Park Hills,
wow!
As much as I love
spine on this guy,
as much as I love Park Hills, there's far more to do in Covington. I mean, I think DeVue Park is considered Covington, correct? It's not Park Hills. Yeah, I think Park Hills is just like the little neighborhood. So you have DeVue Park, you have the golf course. You have the whole block of, we said Main Strasse. You have the block of Blinker's Tavern.
Well, there's a reason their population is 41,000. They
cover
a lot of ground.
Exactly.
Well,
look,
15 minutes from north to south.
Exactly. That's a conversation we've had before where Covington sort of just, and Brian, if you could just throw up the shape of Covington on here as a graphic for us.
It's
because
massive.
I don't think people understand like the weird boomerang shape that it just sort of involves.
How many times clients say, "Why don't we be in Covington?" Because they don't want to be in the city. Like, I don't
South
think you
Covington
understand. South Covington is not the same.
Covington really, when they were being founded, just kept going south and go, we like that. That's us too. Oh, we like this. That's us too. And that's really how they decided.
We're gonna get taxes for that and that.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I mean, you drive south, you go through Latonia, Taylor Mill, Fort Wright, and then you're back in Covington. Yeah. So Covington is giant. They are the most heavily populated. I like Park Hills. I'm going to say it right here and now. Park Hills is great. It's overshadowed, and a lot of people just consider it part of Covington because of location and everything.
Honestly, sometimes my mailing address shows up in certain systems as Covington. So, I mean, I feel ties to both. But, yeah, I mean, you can't beat the restaurants. You can't beat the things to do there. And let's be honest, the River City Grant right now, amazing program for first-time home buyers, people trying to move into Covington. I mean, we had a client last month who showed up to the closing table with a check for $4 to buy a home. All of her closing costs were covered, got her down payment covered, even got her interest.
And just to clarify, you can help people with this, right?
I can help you. Hi, Loan Officer Dave. No, but yeah, I'm going with Covington.
Yeah, no, I think that's a solid choice, Cameron. Of course, I mean, just to be polite, what did you go with?
I went with Covington. I have been voting against Park Hills thus far. So
I mean,
might as well keep it going.
So I mean, realistically, we'll dive more into it, but Covington moves on.
Okay.
All right.
Next, I think this is where it's going to be the most controversial. I think the lower tier was the hardest. The bottom left.
Yeah.
I guess you could go West Coast, East Coast, whatever divisions we're making up. The bottom left of this bracket, I feel like was the most brutal to tear apart.
Yeah. Really
we're looking Newport Union. So where are we at, Cameron, with Newport Union?
Listen, I got facts for days about both Newport and Union. My family is from Newport. I've spent a lot of my time growing up in Union, though. I currently live in Union. So I love both cities, and they couldn't be more different. And I love them both for completely different reasons. But ultimately, I got to pick one. And I sided with Union. And again, I live in Union, so there's that. I went to high school in Union, and I think Union is such like a special place when you see what's coming to it for other reasons. Like you can say that about Newport, Covington, all the things we've already mentioned, but Union was like kind of one of the last places to be touched. And I know there's a lot of residents that aren't happy with all the development in Union, but it's cool things that are coming there. And you don't have to now it's like, if I want to go grab a drink or go on a quick date night, I don't have to drive all the way to Covington to go to a cool restaurant. They're bringing things in. So.
Heck, Kroger's Liquor has its own bar that is very well visited.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I've been there quite a few times where it's literally just the entire town is just there at the
hanging
bar
out at the local
Kroger Liquor next to Kitchen 1883. So, I mean, some people will go after Kitchen 1883, or they'll start there and then go to Kitchen 1883. There's a lot going on over there.
I'm also Team Union because I think Newport it has a lot of older properties with history, which is amazing. And because my little family, my husband and I, we flipped multiple houses. And there's a lot of complications with the older houses, with the foundations, with electric, with plumbing, sewage issues. So Union is new construction, and I greatly appreciate that.
Just coming from the perspective of a real estate agent. We haven't done that much.
Well,
yeah, it's been a lot of opinions.
And the average sales price is about $500,000, as opposed to most of the other areas are like $200,000 to $250,000.
Yeah, across the board, definitely.
Let's fact check that.
The median sale price, according to realtor.com, is $483,000.
She's about right.
that checks out. David, where are we?
This one's tough. I mean, I do like the growth that's coming to Union, although I personally haven't spent too much time in Union. But again, I think I'm going to go back to my original not liking of Newport for my working there. But like I said, I'm very torn because I love what the levy's been doing. I like their trade market where they're bringing in small businesses to kind of get their foot in the door and get started. One of my good friends, his mom started Celestial Scents Candles. It was kind of like her at-home operation, took it to Newport for the trade, and then eventually got enough buzz where she was able to get a storefront in Cold Spring, Kentucky. So,
that actually next to Chan's Asian Walk.
Yeah, next to Chan's Asian Walk, there's Celestial Scents Candles. So if you want some amazing Chinese food and great candles, you know where to go. Cold Spring, Kentucky.
Whenever you're in the market for both of those things.
Yes.
At the same time.
But I think I'm going to go with Union on this one. I think I have to.
And I think that's I like Newport. I do think you have a great point with development in both, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of things happening. There are some higher end luxury condos going up in Newport and everything. However, yes, one thing, I've had a client who I will not name, but we started in Newport thinking that's exactly what they wanted, showed them what old homes have to offer, showed them what it takes, and honestly, with a lot of historic districts you sort of trip into, there's a lot of regulation with what you can actually do, and ended up buying a new construction home.
In Union?
Not in Union. But yeah, it is. I think Union has a lot of great things to offer. I like to tease that it's far out of the way, but it's really not. And at the end of the day, you really don't have to go far. I mean, they've really done a great job centralizing things. So I'm going Union on this one as well. I honestly thought that was going to be a little bit tougher, but I appreciate everyone. I think everyone.
Again, I went
really
pretty ham
points.
with Newport up until now. And if I could have picked the cities, if I could have picked the bracket, I would have had Newport in the Final Four. But I can't have them in the Final Four over Union.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. And again, the way we did the power rankings is just by population. So it's I didn't match it up just because I wanted to. I especially didn't want to because if I knew Rabbit Ash was going to be such a big contender, it would not have put it. It wouldn't have ended the way it did. But yes, the power rankings are just biggest population to smallest population, and then 1 versus 32, exactly how they do it in the basketball tournament thing that we're not getting copyrighted for. So, all right, guys, we are down to Covington and Union on the left-hand side for the finals. Let's go ahead and jump over to the right-hand side. Burlington, Crestview Hills. Cameron, do we want to start?
I will talk out some things that are going on in my head here because, again, I didn't think I was going to have this much trouble at this point because I thought I was going to be repping Florence. So I was fully ready to go to war. But man, you guys have started selling me on Burlington area a little bit, and
That's what we do professionally.
yeah. But
Educate you on what is there.
so my heart is thinking Burlington too, because Boone County. I've lived in Burlington too.
You could just,
I was gonna say,
where haven't you lived? That'd be easier.
I've moved. I was born to be a real estate agent. Most people like to buy like new shoes or cars. My mom wanted to move on average like every year and a half. So, but it was always within northern Kentucky.
yeah.
Yeah, I've lived in a lot of places.
I was gonna say that's I was born in Philly, then Charlotte, then Boston, then
Yeah.
here. So I did states, you did cities.
Not
so.
from Newport. Currently live Union, and then there's just all over ting in between. But heart's in Burlington, but my mind is thinking Crestview because of everything it has to offer, and I like Crestview. It's I'm probably there like once a week for some random reason, whether it's real estate, personal, whatever it is, meeting people for like coffee appointments. I'm always like, Crestview, you want to meet there? It's a middle point.
Yeah,
I think
Panera.
we met there last time.
Yeah, we
it's
met
just
there
such an
one
easy
Taste of
central
Belgium.
point. Yeah, Taste of Belgium.
Oh yeah.
Need a Bloody Mary in the morning. Taste of Belgium. You want to just get a coffee because it's easy, and you want to limit the meeting to only about 30 minutes. Panera, boom, in and out.
Oh, so that's why you picked Panera for me. Okay, great.
It turned into 2 hours, I
It
think.
did turn into 2 hours, yes, because
but
we don't know
so-
how to
You?
shut
That's
up.
crazy.
Yeah, I know, right?
Man, I
was like,
I'm
so
saying
have you made a
Crestview. I'm
decision?
saying
Okay,
Crestview.
all
I'm
right,
saying
all right,
Crestview.
we're
And
going
I'm like
Crestview.
dragging this on. Ryan's
This
gonna be like,
is
we
a
gotta cut this
ding,
stuff. Like,
ding, ding.
yeah. I'm saying Crestview, but clearly my heart is not in it. But go ahead. Somebody else maybe.
That's what you want to hear.
I can be swayed. I can be swayed.
All right, I'm going to push for Burlington.
All right.
And one of my favorite parts of Burlington is the rural area. It's horse country. There's the rolling hills. So Emerald Pine Stables is a horse riding facility, and they do horse camp every year, multiple times. And if you don't have horses or ponies, you have little kids. Like I have a 5-year-old, I can take him. They have a pony, and
That's
they'll do
awesome.
lessons.
I
teach
didn't
him
realize
how to dig in the
horses was
dirt.
going to be such an important factor in Heather's decision making.
It's been.
You
It's
don't know
either
anything
facts or
about me.
horses. It's either facts or
I know
horses.
the real estate agent Heather. I don't know.
Don't know
behind the
horses,
scenes.
don't know motorcycles,
Yeah.
apparently. Well, the good thing is we're getting to know.
Pilchers wear
Talking
many
about more.
hats.
Yeah.
I am learning this. Yeah.
So Burlington.
Okay, Burlington. David, where are we?
I think I'm going Crestview. I just like, if you ever want a nice little date night, they kind of have everything there. You could walk around. There's all kinds of shops. Vom Foss is a really cool place if you like wines. They also do like little cooking classes and things like that. They do a ton of little events. Taste of Belgium. That just came in like last year, or the year before. It's fairly
a couple years
recent.
ago, yeah.
It's a couple
So I mean
years
that's always cool because the one up in the Banks was always just like lines around the block, so we needed one down here.
Bath and Body Works just moved a couple doors down.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool. What is it? Trader Joe's just went in there. So I mean, there's a lot of cool things just right in that little pocket area. So I think I'm gonna have to go with
Get your
Crestview
rings
myself.
cleaned.
So I want to have a change of heart here.
Oh my goodness.
Before Adam says something.
He's trying to
So
screw
I'm going
me.
back to Burlington now because I just thought about
Horses.
making me. I thought of horses because I thought of a whole other area of Burlington I just wasn't even considering for some reason. Is you have the Boone County Courthouse is out there. You have the Boone County Fairgrounds. The 4-H Fairgrounds are out there. You have the little corner there with the what's the restaurant? You got the ice cream shop,
The sushi restaurant?
the sushi restaurant, and then the one right next door.
I don't remember the one next door, but
oh my
I do go
goodness.
because the one who used to own Wabi Sabi in Florence
Yeah,
has that one.
you've got that. So there's that little corner which you should go for a little date night. You can get ice cream, sit outside. You also have the sushi.
Burlington has a really big park too, right? If I'm remembering correctly. That
Probably.
does fall in Burlington. Well,
Like the
the
Boone County
thing is,
Fairgrounds?
I'm trying to remember of what actually falls in Burlington town line versus
Yes. I'm cheating.
Hebron
I'm bringing up
versus
the pen.
Union. You're
Looking
gonna go ahead and
something
bring that
real
up.
quick.
So while you're looking that up, I mean, honestly, this is a tough one. I do love horses. In North Carolina, we lived on a farm. We had horses. I used to ride all the time when we would visit our friends up in northern New York, not New York City, near the Adirondacks. We would go to their 60-acre farm and ride their horses
Boone
all
Woods
the time.
Park?
Boone Woods Park, yes,
Yep.
thank you. That's the one I'm thinking of because they've got really great frisbee golf and everything else. There is a lot to offer out in Burlington. I feel like Crestview Hills is, I'm not going to say so much more, but more well known just because of the centralized location, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you have to basically pass through Crestview Hills to get places. I was in Crestview Hills quite a bit because when I played lacrosse, our club team played at Dixie a lot, so we were always passing by Crestview Hills to go to Dixie High School. Everything else.
Towsey House Tavern. That's what I was thinking.
Okay.
If you haven't been to Towsey House Tavern, you should go. It's a great family-owned operation. And they also have Washington Square. I'm absolutely cheating by bringing out my phone. The Dreaming Whip. Is that what it's still called, or is it something else? But anyway, I like that.
Your phone should be able to tell us, right?
Yeah, I like that area. I like that area.
So overall, I mean, Crestview Hills is a great place. At the end of the day, I think Crestview Hills sort of gets intertwined with the Fort Mitchell, Fort Wright, like it sort of just all bubbles together. So I'm actually gonna go Burlington because I feel like there's such a different dynamic of it. It's Burlington, right? I mean, could we argue that yes, the facts that I pulled up earlier, Burlington doesn't really count as a city according to Boone County's official website. Put the screenshot up right there so they don't know I'm not lying, because Burlington is technically considered census designated place, but I am gonna go Burlington. I do think the uniqueness of Burlington, it's its own thing. So
Okay, Burlington.
All right, man.
This is not how I expected things to go.
No, not at all.
And I'm loving it. So I should actually flip over. Next one. This is the last of the 8. Alexandria and Hebron.
I haven't been going hard for either one, so I want y'all to.
I'm going to
duel
go
this one out.
Hebron. Yep, I'm going to go
Okay.
Hebron because of all of the really, really nice areas that are being developed. As a real estate agent, I got to bring it in, right? Rivers Point Estates is a master design. There's horse riding trails through. Got to throw the horses in there. You can ride a golf cart through. There's the little, cute little barn there. You can actually take horse riding lessons. It's bringing people from all around to do horses. Anyway, Rivers Point Estates is a beautiful development, and it's close to the airport. Amazon, everything that we've talked about.
And right across from River Point is Thornwild. There's a lot of really great development options over there. That's for sure. I mean, do I need to ask, or are we gonna go with a I don't care option again?
No. So I could think of some strong valid points for both, but I'm gonna go with Hebron because if you didn't know at this point, they have an airport. They have Amazon.
And I think that is one thing. CVG, not a lot of people realize Cincinnati Airport is
In
actually
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
It's northern Kentucky. With Cincinnati, they have much smaller airports for like private jets and everything. But CVG is northern Kentucky. It is the Hebron area. So that is one thing. I mean, like, again, shouting out just different local things. I think put some respect on Northern Kentucky's name when it comes to what we have to offer, right? So we've got 2 on Hebron.
Yeah. But Alexandria does have Hickory Sticks Golf Course.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say they also
You've
have.
got AJ Jolly.
You have AJ Jolly, which is another golf
Camping,
course.
Yeah.
You have camping. There's horse riding at AJ Jolly. They have trails in there for it. They also have, I'm trying to think, Stonebrook Winery. I don't know. In the summertime, they do dinners there, and it's awesome. It's like somebody's grandpa's there cooking grilled chicken for you, and you get to try all their wines. My wife and I went. We were the youngest people there by like 20 years. It was a great time. It's exactly my crowd. But no, I mean there's a lot that people I don't really think about in Alexandria that they really do have to offer. You drive down 27. There's just about every restaurant you would ever want. A lot of chain restaurants. I think that needs to change Alexandria. Let's get some family owned in
break
there.
the chain.
Let's break the chain. Yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, my heart is to go with Alexandria. It's where I grew up most of my life. It's where we adjacently went to high school because I always thought it was Alexandria, and then when I went to high school, found out it was Claryville. But that's neither the point. But yeah,
More
so
educated.
we 3-1 Hebron still.
I'm going to
I-
Alexandria.
I didn't say anything yet, and honestly,
okay.
I'll say this. It might sound controversial, but Hebron is just the Alexandria of Boone County. I think they are both
I think
so
that's what
similar.
I was thinking.
I
Yeah.
think they're
Like,
both
to
so,
me,
yeah.
How would
they're
you say
both
something
strong.
so
but-
controversial?
What?
It's so
Yeah,
great.
what? I was hoping you would say that. So yeah, realistically, I'm going Alexandria because I think they are just so similar, but I'm more towards Campbell County boy.
Are we tied 2-2 right now?
We are
we're
tied
2-2.
2-2.
Actually, I'm
Does
gonna
anybody-
do an upset.
Spin the
gonna flip
wheel.
it?
I'm
You're
gonna go
gonna flip?
Alexandria.
We're not spinning the wheel?
Yep.
Wow, what a shot! We're
I
going
know.
Alexandria.
Yep.
Was it
All
AJ
right.
Jolly that won you over? Or-
I was kind of looking
That was
forward. I was
striking.
looking forward to seeing
Yeah.
a Burlington Hebron head to head.
I mean,
Because
truly,
They're very
I
similar.
think
Yeah.
at the end of the day, either one you don't pick wrong. There's
Yeah.
some new development. Arcadia, of course, is your biggest,
Yeah.
but there's some new development in Timber Creek and everything just south of Arcadia.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really great new development going on in both. Yeah. I mean, Hebron, yes, does have the airport, but I think they both have a really great close to everything, but you can get away.
Right.
Yeah.
I kind of switched too because Mr. Emotional over here. Alexandria, we've gone camping as a family multiple times. We can actually shoot guns out there.
Oh, yeah.
We have some friends with some land out there, and I think it's fun.
Believe it or not, she went with emotions.
Heck
She went with
yes.
feelings over facts.
At the end of the day,
I knew I'd get it there one day. Perfect.
All right.
Well, all right, guys, we are down to the final four.
Mm-hmm.
It is Covington versus Union and Burlington versus Alexandria. I honestly, at the end of the day, again, I think there were some great cities left behind, but I think these are really great to offer cities. If we're gonna go back, Covington is technically power rank number 1. Union is technically power rank number 11. Burlington is power rank 6, and Alexandria is power rank 8. So just to kind of keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and start Covington.
Well, real
Union.
quick,
Yeah.
does anybody still have picked the potential winner? Or is everybody's bracket busted for the winner?
No, to be perfectly honest.
I have mine.
I have
chosen.
one remaining.
Yeah, so I had Independence winning it all.
I had
Again,
Independence winning it all, and you couldn't tell by my reactions.
I had Independence and Fort Mitchell in the finals, and I had Independence winning it. And we saw how that turned out very quickly.
Independence lost to Rabbit Hash.
And Fort Mitchell lost to Crestview Hills. So I lost both my champions in
I still
the,
have 2 of the
first
final
one.
4 still in it. And it's actually the one we're about to go with. Covington and Union, I had those 2 picks going head to head.
Okay.
I did not have, my right side just got busted straight out of the gates. So.
Yeah, my right side definitely got hit. Again, you guys use logic, whatever, it makes sense. But my right side definitely got hit harder. Again, I'll say it all day, every day. Anybody in Independence, reach out to me because I feel you're hurt. I have to drive back to that city and just let them know.
And just know that
you're
coming home a loser.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, shut up with that nonsense. So, Heather, how's your bracket gone so far?
So I can't expose who I think's gonna win.
Okay, that's
but
fair.
things are going quite well. The one surprise I had was that
I've gotten every single one right.
It's rigged.
Switch to Alexandria.
I gotta switch it up. No, but I do think that for fans watching, Fort Thomas should have lasted longer.
Yeah.
We have some heavy biases, I think, as real estate professionals and just as like normal people that live outside of Fort Thomas.
Yeah.
So
I really feel
Can't
like
disagree with that.
if you're in Fort Thomas, it's 100% blood, sweat, tears. Fort Thomas. I respect Fort Thomas. I understand. I do think they fell out early, but realistically, Covington. I mean, just Main Strasse alone. That's college buddies for NKU.
Oh, yeah.
That was our thing before the banks opened up. I mean, you can't not end your night at Gypsies. And then walk.
You can, but
I mean,
get
you
your
shouldn't.
point,
You
but
shouldn't.
yeah.
You should end up at Gypsies every time you go to Main Strasse. But I mean, realistically, at the end of the day, you make your way down to Goodfellas. You want to have a date night, go to Lissa right there. I mean, you've got great options with Covington, but I do agree.
So are we
Fort
going
Thomas.
right into it right now? Or are you?
No, sorry. I started digging into it. I got a little
pretty
ahead
good.
of
You're
myself.
going pretty hard
David,
for Covington.
David,
there.
let's jump into it. What is busted on your bracket? How are we doing?
So what I have is my entire left side is out. The only one. And on mine, like I said, I
He
filled
is
out
the
my
lender.
initial
Yeah, he
bracket.
is the
I
lender.
filled out my initial
He
bracket.
does actually drive to the houses.
Yeah, I filled out mine solely based on my own personal biases, which honestly have changed just after being around you guys and kind of more or less thinking about it a little more. Because I mean,
salespeople.
you sent
And
you,
now we've got putt-putt we never knew about.
yeah,
so.
you sent me this, and I was like, oh, done, easy. And I filled this thing out all with personal biases. But honestly, me flipping from Park Hills to Covington last round, that killed pretty much. That was the end of my last bracket. I actually had Park Hills going the whole way.
I'm looking at your
As you
champion
see.
right there. And
Yeah.
Park Hills is the winner for you.
But I do still have Alexandria alive, so I'm gonna stick with that, and we're gonna see where we go from here.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and start off with Covington Union. I already know I sort of pitched into the whole Main Straw situation. Gypsy. I mean, let's be real. There's nowhere in Covington that you end up. That's not. It's. I mean, Hannaford. If you're gonna be on the Madison Pike area, Braxton over there. Libby Southern Comfort. I mean, Covington just
Wabi
has so
sabi.
much to offer. Go to make your way to the yard. Go to. I mean.
They just opened the well there.
They did open the well. They've got so much happening by Keystone and Smoke Justice now. And then you make your way to the Gruff. I mean, Covington culturally just has so much to offer, and it's not the chain that Alexandria has, like we were talking about earlier. It's unique small businesses that are really running some cool things.
Yeah, I think
over there.
I'm like chomping at the bit over here. I'm like, what do we got? But no, so I love both areas, and there's a reason I put both of these in my final four because I think they both like depending on what lifestyle you're wanting to live, it can be perfect for either one. If you want to be in the middle of things and you want to be able to walk to things or have a short commute,
$5 Uber.
Yeah, then you're Covington all day. But if you want to kind of be away from everything and you want the bigger yards, you want horses, like you can have in Union, you can be spread out a little bit. Yeah. So they both are like, if you're gonna pick, you want the city living, I'm thinking Covington all day. If you're wanting more away from everything, I think Union all day. But ultimately, I'm going with Union. And yes, well, of course you're gonna say that, Cameron, you live there. I know that. But I think it's, especially if we were to do this again in like 3 years, I don't even think it would be a competition because of the development coming to Union. You get all those great things. Now, can you just like walk to some of the places? Probably not. But a short Uber ride or a car ride, and you're going to have so many. You already are getting them. They're bringing so many things to the Union area. And then you're getting the pros of, hey, I want a front yard for my dog or my kid or a backyard or whatever it may be. I want a little breathing room from my neighbor, but I want things close to me. Union's bringing it all in. They were slept on for a while with development, and now it's all coming in.
And that's fair. I mean, I used to live in Covington, right by Kroger, right off of Martin Luther King Boulevard area, and I loved it. How many showings have I done in Covington where you can open up the side window, reach out, and touch the neighbor's brick wall, right? Proximity-wise, I do think you have a good thought process on Union. More accessibility than what used to be offered, but more freedom or space. So Heather, where are we going with this one?
I agree. On the last round with Newport versus Union, same concept. That the older houses, the block foundations, things that are crumbling are much more prevalent in the city of Covington. There is a lot of remodeling, up and coming, like you said, all the restaurants. The big thing for me, though, as far as from a mom and a wife and a family perspective, is that those Covington houses are super tight. Like you said, you can reach out and touch the wall. They're really tall, vertical, shotgun-style houses. And I would prefer to have a little bit more room to sprawl out. And walkable sidewalks, like actually push the big stroller and go for a jog. Union has wider sidewalks and the ponds that you can walk by as you're moving along.
Yeah, no, I totally hear that. I mean, if you guys want to go ahead and just pick Union on your side, sure. You got ponds to be silly gooses at. So, no, realistically, though, I love Covington. I end up in Covington a lot. Again, Lissa is a really great date night steakhouse. I think it matches Jeff Ruby's, and it's a little bit more intimate. I think they've all got, there's a lot of great stuff there, but I'm going to shock you. And I know technically we haven't gone to you yet.
I don't think it's going to matter the way you're going.
Okay, that's fine. I'm honestly going to go Union. I fully respect where you guys are going with it. I think there's a lot of cool development happening. I mean, the Braxton Graders development coming in, right?
Don't be, I haven't got to talk yet. I'm going to flip one of them.
Like the Braxton Graders, the like community area that's coming in, that they're developing, everything they're doing across that. I mean, Derek and TJ are commercial agents that we know really well that are working on everything Union. I think there's a lot of really cool things. I think they've very smartly done what I really respected in Texas when I worked for a company and was considering moving to Dallas, where they build communities and then they build centers within that community so you don't have to go anywhere else. Yeah. And at the end of the day, again, Union really isn't that far depending on which exit you're taking and which one's under construction at the time. Let's be real, Triple Crown should just be its own city outside of Union, but it is
soon to
within.
Be.
Yeah, I mean,
some other developments
growing.
All around.
You keep stretching out. It's just going to be all the way to Petersburg. However, I'm going to go Union on this one.
So we can't wait for you to move near us in Union. We're really looking forward to it.
Don't push it.
When are you going to have Stephanie working on Emily?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it doesn't really matter, but I'm still going. I'm going with Covington just because, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, you think about, like we said, we have the Main Strasse area. You have De Felice, if you want a nice little spot where you can listen to live jazz music and get great Cajun food.
Yep.
There's a couple different of the bourbon bars. There's the Japanese bakery there. I mean, there's just so many different things.
Yeah, brunch.
Cedar
Yeah.
for brunch. You have Molly Malone's for, I guarantee most of you guys have spent.
But
your
what
time.
about us that don't like to go out to eat? Come on now, because now it sounds like, what are we doing in Covington?
Well, I mean, okay, well then we have. Well, I mean, then we have. You got the.
Boom. Wait, what if we wanted to Airbnb some property?
Yeah, exactly. Are you going to be an investor? Well, I know that's changed now, but I've heard that's changed now. But it's just I feel like Covington is more. There's more opportunities for the first-time home buyers. Like I said, there's the River City grants. Like they're
Very
doing
true.
a lot to
Much
bring
more
people
first-time
in.
home buyer friendly. Yes.
Yeah.
can't
Whereas,
deny
I mean, how many first-time home buyers that are going into these new developments in Union? They're just not there. Yeah, no, when it comes down to it, I mean, there's definitely more, there's more events and things that happen in Covington. There's more little like pop-up shops, pop-up little concerts and things like that. I remember one time Sarah and I were just walking through after dinner, heard music in the distance, walked around the corner, and there was just a whole concert going on 6th Street. Like,
It's very walkable.
they're very walkable. There's tons of things to do. I mean, you could pretty much at any point in time park just about anywhere in the main Strasse or the, by the Roebling Bridge, and you can just walk around and you're going to find something
if you
to
can
do.
find parking though.
Ooh.
That's a solid point. I think at the end
You could
of the
park
day,
anywhere
kind of-
in Union, park in front yards, anything. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah, and then you got to
Just
walk
does what
half
he
an
wants.
hour to get to your neighbor's house. I get it. No. But I think I'm more biased towards Covington just because that's the area. It's where I always find myself ending up. I'm definitely more of a food guy, but as far as like development and the growth of the Northern Kentucky area, I mean, yeah, I think Union takes the cake.
Yeah, and I really do think it just jumps back to Union is going to move forward, but I think it jumps back to what Cameron said of it's just such different. Like, I mean, Covington's average home price last year, $221,000. Union's is $466,000. It's different areas, it's different cultures.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want. If you want to have that recluse of
They're in my
I can
top
go
4 cities,
out,
both of them. So I like them
Well,
both, but for totally different reasons.
Yeah, they wouldn't be here if we thought ill of any of them, really.
Right.
But
All right. Burlington and Alexandria. So the Alexandria or the Burlington of Alexandria. What did we say before? We
No, we said Hebron.
They're the same.
Was the Alexandria
okay.
of Boone.
But
So
Hebron and Burlington are the same. So.
I feel like we're back to the same argument that we had with Alexandria Hebron.
Yeah.
Very similar cities, very similar privacy, close to, got a lot of options. Personally, I'm just going to jump into it and say Alexandria. That's again coming from the feeling side of growing up in the Alexandria Claryville. Plenty of time, went to AJ Jolly, kayaked there all the time with our dogs. Great lake to just walk around, run.
Oh, yeah.
Great hunting areas. So I'm personally just jumping into it and saying Alexandria. So
I'm saying Burlington. Obviously,
Okay,
I'm sure that was a big shocker.
Yeah.
But I mean, for a lot of the reasons that we said before, is it's got that little hometown feel, depending on where you're at, and you can be right there with the restaurants. There's the library. There's all that stuff, which I know I'm sounding like a broken record, but running out of things to say about all these cities at this point.
Yeah.
And then if I want to go and ride my horse, or if I want to,
That you have.
yeah, if I wanted one, I could do that there, which I guess you could do in Alexandria too.
yeah.
But this is a toughie though. I'm going with Burlington because obviously I'm biased, but they're both. Go ahead,
Yeah.
come up with
No,
something better
I
than
think
me.
they're extremely similar. It's just a preference of Boone County versus Campbell County.
Yeah.
And I personally bias towards Boone County. So I'm
Fair.
going Burlington.
Fair. And I think what this is speaking to, especially the Covington Union conversation, the Burlington Alexandria, I think this is really spoken to. We've done a good job really getting down to these are tough choices. Yeah, we've got 2 Burlington, 1 Alexandria.
I mean, I think it's just going to keep getting harder. Obviously, I'm biased Alexandria. And I think it's only going to keep getting harder. I feel like the Covington Union argument was it was hard, but I think it was easier just in the fact that it's city versus country we were arguing.
Fair.
We're now getting down to the point where it's country versus country, and there's all the things we're arguing can be said about both.
Yep.
So I'm going to go ahead and I'll go with Alexandria, and we'll take it to the tiebreaker.
I think I was about
I
to say
don't think
Brian
we're
is-
gonna get. I don't think we're gonna change our minds.
No,
on
I
Brian.
I
absolutely
don't think so
not.
either. Brian knew that.
Yeah.
He was chomping at the bits waiting to type this in. So we are going to do a spin the wheel as the tiebreaker for this one. We're going to be showing you the screen.
Spin the wheel.
But Burlington, Burlington.
I had to spell Burlington.
Why did you have to look up
I
to
forgot.
see it?
Burlington.
So yeah, overall, okay, there we go. Are you screen recording?
Yes, I am.
Okay, cool.
All right.
So we are going to go ahead and spin when we are ready, it's going to be Alexandria, Burlington. Dave and I are not stepping off of Alexandria.
No.
Heather and Cameron are not.
I think we're all very biased. And this
Yeah,
is
we
the
can
only
try
way.
to argue it.
And I'm not going to be
Like,
mad.
where we're at.
I'm not going to be mad either way, but it better be Alexandria.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for the diner alone, let's go ahead and click it. Where are we going to end up? Arrow is on the right-hand side.
You guys vote red or blue?
Burlington it is.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
That's fair.
Coat Factory for the win, I guess.
Go
No,
Factory.
I'm just going to keep referencing that just to trigger people.
So I do want to point out that the 2 final cities are in Boone County.
You know,
Wow.
I don't love this.
I know, yeah.
Now everyone in Kenton and
I'm
Campbell
not-
County are saying
I'm
we're not
not-
using any of them.
Well, that's
Well, you can still use me. Hi, Loan Officer Dave
Or-
here.
Yeah, so
I kind
anybody
of don't
have
love
anybody still in the
anything
final?
I
about
don't.
what you just said, Heather. If I'm being honest, I'm big Kenton. Grew up in Campbell, and I liked Boone.
I think, Boone's coming along.
I will say Burlington's not a city, according to Boone County.
Okay, so
Again, reference the website. But yeah, we're Union versus Burlington right now, and that.
I'm
blew my
actually
mind that you
surprised
pointed
that it
out.
came down to these 2.
I
Yeah.
am a little bit too. Like I said, I
fully anticipated Union, but I thought it would be more like a Union and
like a Crestview or like
something more urban
Yeah.
or
Urban-ish.
like a
city.
Florence.
could have been.
Or like, I thought it'd be Union.
could have been if
versus
we didn't
Covington.
push too hard on independence. So, well, we're learning things.
I'm learning. I
got to
got
invite y'all out.
Yeah, exactly. So again, anybody in the comments, feel free to let us know. We have Union and Burlington. Who did you have in the finals? Who do you think should have been the ones going on? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What have we missed, restaurant, small business wise? We would love to hear in the comments below. So guys, we're just gonna go ahead and jump into it. We're gonna make a claim for best of Northern Kentucky. I think looking back hindsight, inviting 2 people from Union.
Now the
Might not have
excuses
been-
come out.
might not have been the
The
best
excuses
choice.
come
Yeah,
out.
but pause, right? I just moved to Union yesterday.
Yes, literally. Yes. To be
She's been
fair,
a lifetime. Talks like she's been a lifetime resident.
Hey,
Heather
she
went
knows
from-
her areas.
You went from Covington to Union, correct? So yeah, you had Final Four. So, but yes, we've got some Boone Countyans. We are in Boone County territory with Union and Burlington. Let's go ahead and dive into it. David, I'm gonna start with you.
Wow.
On this one.
Well, you know
'Cause
what?
I'm
I'm going to
genuinely
divert to
curious.
Cameron's previous answer, and I know it's the finals, but I don't care. I don't care at all.
Wow, what a twist!
I mean, I don't
love
know. I guess if I had to just throw it out there, just because of what we've been talking about and the fun
You know what?
factoids I've been hearing.
If you're gonna throw it out, and you just let's see what they've got first, and let's
Yes,
bring you.
yes.
in.
Okay, yeah, that's
All
fair.
right.
I mean, I think my choice is obvious. I am gonna say that I wish it was a different city, and I'm sorry, Burlington. I don't think Burlington can stand up strong enough against Union. I know people in Burlington are probably gonna hate me for that.
I can already
Even though
hear
I
him
lived in
yelling.
Burlington, I went to Stevens Elementary. I lived in Burlington. Went to the Boone County Fairgrounds years in a row. Burlington has a lot to offer, but again, I just have to go with Union, even if I didn't live in it. Because I think they are trying to, I think it's going to be from all the way up north in Covington down to Union. I think those are going to be like the 2 hot spots for different reasons. But I think you're going to have reason to be in Union, and besides just you want to get away from it all. So I want to get away from it all, but they have this as well. So I'm still in the development. If you buy a house, even though the prices are more expensive right now, you still have a good chance of your home values going up, because they're continuing to develop. And what do we know about new construction is it always brings up the value for the already existing homes. So that's why I'm going with it. From my real estate hat, appreciation. From my personal hat, there's so much there.
According
and
to Realtor.com, Union's home value went up about 13%
Year
in
over year.
2022.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Got you. And that's,
Definitely
I mean,
appreciate
it.
it definitely has a lot to do with not just the new build home aspect, but the development of the restaurants they're bringing in, the shopping they're bringing in, because it's not just restaurants. Kind of like what we talked. My biggest thing in Covington is the bars. It's a great happy hour date night sort of situation. Union's got a whole lot of different shopping as well to sort of include in that, and I mean, Union Kroger is absolutely giant. I mean, Union Kroger has its own Facebook page, basically, of people in the Union Facebook group just commenting on, look how this person parked. So I get that. So Heather, are we going Union on you? Okay.
Yep.
All right. So we're going 2 unions from the people who live in Union.
Yeah. So
We're going to go ahead and go to you.
So here's going to be my toss up for the tiebreaker, I guess, or not even the lack thereof, I guess. Where is Stevens Golf Center located? Burlington it is. There we go.
Stevens.
That's it.
Do you want to give clarification for those who don't know what Stevens Golf Center is?
Yeah,
It's a golf ranch, I believe.
Yeah, it's just like it's pretty much a driving range, but they have the top tracer technology. So I mean, you can really get a beat in on how far your clubs go, just to practice. They actually have like a little mini kind of bar set up there. It's not like grass
It's
or
a fun
anything,
place to go.
but it's a super fun place to go. I spend a lot of time there in the summers with my buddies. If we just want to go out, buy a quick bucket of balls. I mean, I think it's like for 200 balls, it's like 15 or 20 bucks. It's super cheap just to go out there and hit some balls and have a good time. So with me not really having a huge,
That's the turning.
without me having a bias of either of them, I'm going Burlington for that. Just, shake things up a little bit. You guys both went Union. I would go Stevens Golf Center. I'm repping them.
No, and that's fair. I think overall, it's again, we've picked some really great cities. We've narrowed it down to the finals. I think it would be hilarious if we ended up having to do a tiebreaker on the absolute championship.
The wheel.
However, I'm gonna go ahead and go Union. I think it makes the most sense. Again,
Even though everything inside of him wants to go against us.
Everything screaming inside of me is saying neither of them. Just screw this whole thing. I can't believe we recorded all of this and left Independence and Florence out. Again, feel free to comment below of what you guys think. But we're gonna go Union, best of Northern Kentucky. So I think
Congrats to Union.
Bar none, the development, the growth, everything happening there. You can't not bring it up, right? So Union, best of Northern Kentucky.
Congrats.
Guys, thank you so much for being on. Again, everyone in the comments below, feel free to follow along with what the fans chose versus what we chose.
Tell us how much you hate us now because of our decisions.
We'll throw up the final bracket for you guys to picture there to see how everything went over the last few rounds. If you missed the rounds prior, feel free to check out those videos. David, Heather, Cameron, thank you guys so much for being on. I will be tagging your guys' stuff and everything, so feel free to check these guys out. All great people I love working with. I've really enjoyed being able to talk about this. We love learning more about Northern Kentucky, so if there's something we missed, again, shout it out. If there's a park that you really love going to that we didn't bring up, would love to know about it, especially if it's dog friendly for my Aussies. So, do you guys have any final thoughts?
No, I don't think so.
We came out
content.
victorious.
Yeah,
I'm content.
I'm not thrilled.
I'm not.
He's walking around. He's walking out with a championship ring.
David, how are we feeling with Boone just taking out
disappointed.
everything?
I get it.
I did have Florence winning it all. I didn't pick Union to win it all. I had Florence winning.
I was
it all.
definitely
While you're speaking, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I was definitely, I definitely more appreciate getting away, but the more I lived in Park Hills and got into the Covington side of things, I mean, if it wouldn't have been the fact that I bought a house in Park Hills, I mean, my wife and I, when we were initially looking, we were looking in Campbell County, so it just kind of by chance happened that we ended up in Park Hills, so I've gotten a little more exposure to Covington, so I think that's why I was a little more biased. If we would have had this 5-6 years ago before I bought my house, Kenton County probably wouldn't even have been on the map. So, but as we grow, we find new things, and I'm happy for Union.
Again, thank you all. Heather, do you have any final?
Nope.
Thoughts,
Long live
opinions?
Union.
Okay.
One day as a resident of Union, and she is for life.
And that's all we need to know. For those who aren't familiar with Northern Kentucky, always feel free to reach out to us with any questions. For those of you who are very familiar with Northern Kentucky, feel free to give your opinions on where we ended up versus where you would have ended up. So thank you everyone for watching. I really appreciate you guys being here, and that is Best of Northern Kentucky 2023.